Okay, so I want you to do something real quick before we even get into this video. Pull out your phone, open your bank app, go to your transactions from last month and just scroll. Count every single recurring charge you see. Every $9.99, every $14.99, every $6.99 you forgot existed. Done? Good. Now, here's the thing. If you're like most Americans, you just found somewhere between $200 and $300 a month in subscriptions. And I already know what you're thinking. You're thinking, no way, that's not me. I only have like Netflix and Spotify. Yeah, that's what everybody thinks. A study from C+R Research found that the average American thinks they spend about $86 a month on subscriptions. The actual number? $219. That's not a small gap. That's $133 per month delusion. That's $1,596 a year you're spending that you don't even realize you're spending. And look, that number alone should make you uncomfortable. But what I'm going to show you today is way worse than that. Because it's not just the money you're losing, it's what that money could have become. My name is Thomas, and I spend way too much time thinking about subscriptions, recurring charges, and the psychology behind why companies have gotten incredibly good at taking small amounts of your money forever. If you're someone who feels like your paycheck disappears before you can even think about saving or investing, and you genuinely cannot figure out where it all goes, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're going to break down exactly how the subscription economy is designed to drain your wealth slowly, why your brain is basically wired to let it happen, and the specific rules I use to make sure I never pay for something I'm not actively using. Let's get into it. Here's where I need you to reframe how you think about subscriptions entirely. Most people look at a subscription and they see a small monthly charge. They see $9.99, they see $14.99, and their brain goes, that's nothing. That's like a coffee. And then they move on. But here's what most people don't realize. Subscriptions cost you money twice. The first cost is the obvious one. The charge hits your account, money leaves. You know this. The second cost, that's the one nobody talks about. It's what economists call opportunity cost. It's what that money would have become if you had invested it instead. Let me give you a real example because I think the math here is genuinely shocking. Let's say you have $50 a month in subscriptions you don't really use. You don't hate them, you just don't use them that much. You're paying for convenience you're not consuming. $50 a month is $600 a year. Okay, fine. That sounds like a lot, but maybe not life-changing, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. If you took that same $50 a month and put it into an S&P 500 index fund, averaging roughly 10% annual returns, which is the historical average, over 30 years, that becomes $108,366. I need you to hear that number again. $108,000. From subscriptions you weren't even enjoying. That's not a vacation. That's not a car. That's a meaningful chunk of someone's retirement gone because you were paying $12.99 a month for a streaming service you opened twice in the last 6 months. And by the way, that $50 is conservative. Most people are leaking way more than that. So when I call subscriptions a tax, I'm not being dramatic. A tax is money taken from your income that you have limited control over. Subscriptions operate the same way, except you do have control. You've just been designed not to exercise it.
Now, you might be thinking, Thomas, if I'm wasting money on subscriptions, why wouldn't I just cancel them? I'm not stupid. And you're right, you're not stupid. But you are human. And human psychology has some very specific flaws that subscription companies exploit perfectly. Let me walk you through 3 of them. Number 1, pain of paying fragmentation. There's a concept in behavioral economics about the pain of paying. When you hand someone $200 in cash, it hurts. You feel that. Your brain registers loss. But when you split that same $200 into 15 small charges spread across a month, the pain almost disappears. Each individual charge is too small to trigger your brain's loss response. This is why subscriptions work. $9.99 doesn't activate your financial pain centers the way $120 per year would. Same money, completely different psychological experience. Number 2, status quo bias. This one is huge. Humans have a documented tendency to prefer things staying the same, even when changing would benefit them. It's called status quo bias. Canceling a subscription requires action. Keeping it requires nothing. And when the choice is between doing something and doing nothing wins almost every time. Companies know this. That's why signing up takes 30 seconds, and canceling sometimes requires you to call a phone number, navigate a menu, talk to a retention specialist, and then confirm twice. That's not an accident. That's a business strategy. Number 3, the I might need it fallacy. This is the one that gets almost everybody. You look at a subscription you haven't used in 2 months and you think, but what if I want it next week? Then I'd have to sign up again. And so you keep paying, month after month, just in case. Here's what I want you to understand about that logic. You are paying real money today to avoid a hypothetical inconvenience tomorrow. That's not smart financial planning. That's anxiety with a monthly billing cycle. Look, these 3 psychological patterns are why the subscription economy is worth over $275 billion globally and growing at roughly 20% per year, according to UBS research. These companies aren't growing because their products are getting better. They're growing because the billing model is almost perfectly designed to exploit how your brain makes decisions. Okay, so now that you understand why you're leaking money, let's talk about how to stop it. And I've got 5 rules that I personally use. They're simple, they work, and they don't require you to live like a monk. Rule number 1, and this is the foundation for everything else. Calculate annual pain, not monthly comfort. Here's the exercise. Take every subscription you have and multiply the monthly cost by 12. Netflix Premium, $22.99 per month, equals $275.88 per year. Spotify, $10.99, equals $131.88 per year. ChatGPT Plus, $20, equals $240 per year. Adobe Creative Cloud, $54.99, equals $659.88 per year. That meditation app you used for 3 days in January, $14.99, equals $179.88 per year. Now, add them all up. Most people who do this exercise for the first time, and I mean actually sit down and do it, end up somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 a year. And here's the reaction I always see. It's not, oh, that's a lot. It's, wait, what? There's no way. But there is a way, because monthly pricing is specifically designed to hide the real number from you. That's the whole point. I want you to think about it like this. If someone came to your door and said, hey, I'd like you to write me a check for $3,200 right now, and in return you'll get access to a bunch of apps you mostly don't use, you would slam the door. But spread that $3,200 over 12 months and fragment it into 15 small charges, suddenly it feels like nothing. Same money, different framing, completely different decision. So, step 1, always annualize. Put the real number in front of your face and make yourself feel it.
Rule number 2. This one is my favorite because it's so brutally simple. I call it the replacement test. For every subscription you have, ask yourself one question. If this got canceled right now, completely gone, would I sign back up today at full price? Not would I miss it eventually, not would I be mildly annoyed. Would you actively go resubscribe right now, today, with your own money? If the answer is an immediate yes, keep it. That subscription is providing real value to your life. If the answer is, probably, maybe, that's a no. Cancel it. Here's the thing. Maybe is not a yes. Maybe means you've been paying for inertia. You've been paying because canceling requires effort and keeping it requires nothing. That's status quo bias doing exactly what it's designed to do. And let me address the objection I always get here. People say, but Thomas, what if I cancel it and then I want it back in like 2 weeks? Great question. Then you sign back up in 2 weeks. It takes 90 seconds. You'll lose absolutely nothing. But here's what actually happens in practice, and I've done this myself multiple times. You cancel something, and you just never think about it again. You don't miss it, you don't notice. It just quietly exits your life, and nothing changes. That's how you know it wasn't providing value. It was providing familiarity, and familiarity is not worth $15 a month. Rule number 3, kill overlap, not joy. This is where most people waste the most money without realizing it, and honestly, it kind of frustrates me because it's so avoidable. Here's what I mean. Most people aren't paying for subscriptions, they're paying for redundancy. Look, how many of you right now have more than one streaming service? 2, 3, 4? According to Deloitte's 2024 Digital Media Trends Survey, the average American household pays for 4 streaming services. 4. And how many are they actively watching content on at any given time? Usually 1, maybe 2. So you're paying for 4, using 1, and wondering why you can't save money. Same thing with music apps, same thing with cloud storage, same thing with productivity tools. Here's what I want you to do. Group every subscription into categories: entertainment, streaming, gaming, etc., productivity, tools, apps, software, health, fitness apps, meditation, meal planning, storage, iCloud, Google One, Dropbox, learning, courses, news, audiobooks. Now look at each category. If you've got more than one subscription in any single category, you've got overlap. And overlap is just waste wearing a different outfit. Pick the best one in each category. Let everything else go. You're not losing entertainment. You're not losing joy. You're losing duplicate charges for the same category of value. That's it. Real quick, if you're finding this helpful and you want a simple one-page template to do this entire subscription audit yourself, comment "tax" below and I'll get it to you. It makes this whole process take about 15 minutes. Okay, back to the rules.
Rule number 4, and honestly, this might be the most impactful change you can make. Create friction for renewals. Here's what I want you to do. Go into every subscription you have, every single one, and turn off auto-renew. Then open your calendar app and set a reminder 48 hours before each renewal date. That's it. That's the whole rule. Now, you might be thinking, Thomas, that's so tedious. Why would I do that? Because here's what auto-renew actually is. Auto-renew is a system designed to remove your decision-making from the transaction. It's designed to make sure you never have to consciously say, yes, I want to keep paying for this. And when you never have to make that decision, you keep paying forever. Subscriptions don't survive because they're valuable. They survive because they renew in silence. No notification, no confirmation, just a quiet charge on a statement you barely review. When you turn off auto-renew and set a reminder, you force yourself to make an active choice every billing cycle. And at that decision point, when you actually have to think about it, the truth comes out. You realize you haven't opened that app in 6 weeks. You realize you watched one show on that platform and nothing else interests you. You realize you're paying for premium when the free version does 90% of what you need. Make renewals loud. Make them require your attention. The subscriptions that survive that friction are the ones actually worth your money. Everything else was surviving on your autopilot. Rule number 5, and this is the one that ties everything together. Replace subscriptions with systems. Here's what I mean. Instead of paying for 4 or 5 streaming services simultaneously, pick one, use it for a month, watch everything you want to watch, cancel it. Pick a different one next month. I call this the monthly rotation strategy. You get access to the same content, the same entertainment, but instead of paying $60 or $70 a month for everything at once, you're paying $15 to $20 for one at a time. Over a year, that's the difference between $720 and $200. Same shows, same movies. $500 saved. Instead of a paid fitness app, and look, some of these are good, I'm not saying they're all bad, but instead of paying $30 a month for an app, find one solid free routine on YouTube. Write it down. Track your progress in a free notes app. You don't need an algorithm, you need consistency. Instead of multiple news subscriptions, pick one quality source.
Supplement it with free newsletters and your local library's digital access. Most people don't know this, but most library systems give you free access to apps like Libby, which has audiobooks, magazines, newspapers, free with your library card. The principle here is simple. Subscriptions sell you automation. Systems give you the same result through intention. And here's the beautiful thing about intention. It's free. It costs you nothing except 5 minutes of thinking.
All right, so let's make this actionable, because I don't want you to just watch this and then go back to scrolling. Here's your plan. 3 time frames. This week, open your bank and credit card statements. List every single recurring charge. Multiply each one by 12. Write the total annual number at the bottom of that list. Let that number sit with you. Feel it. This month, apply the replacement test to every item on that list. Would you resubscribe today, right now, at full price? If the answer isn't an immediate yes, cancel it today. Not next week, not after this billing cycle, today, because later is where good financial intentions go to die. This quarter, for everything that survived, switch to rotation, not stacking. One streaming service at a time, one learning platform at a time. Rotate monthly, audit quarterly. If you do these 3 things, and I mean actually do them, not just nod along, you will almost certainly free up between $100 and $200 a month, minimum. And here's where I want to leave you. That person who frees up $100 a month by cutting subscriptions they weren't even using, they don't feel that $100 today. Their life doesn't change on Tuesday. But if they invest that $100 a month at a 10% average annual return over 25 years, that becomes $133,789 from subscriptions they forgot they were paying for. That's not budgeting advice. That's not frugality. That's recognizing that your money has a future. And right now, subscription companies are stealing that future, $9.99 at a time. Every subscription you keep without questioning is a silent vote against your financial freedom. Every subscription you cancel intentionally is a loud vote for it.
So stop paying the subscription tax. Audit your charges. Cancel what doesn't serve you, and invest the difference. If this video helped you think differently about where your money goes, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I put out videos like this every single week to help you build wealth without the financial industry's nonsense getting in the way. I'll see you in the next one.